you know me. I'm Loretta Durbin's husband. Upstaged by Loretta at this stage in my career. It's about time. Love you. I think back how I got to this stage, and I don't want to reminisce because there's not much that holds an audience when you tell personal stories over and over. But I do want to say a few things. My mother was an immigrant to this country. She was brought here at the age of 2 from a country called Lithuania. And her family thought that the land of opportunity, the place to go in America, was East St. Louis, Illinois, which is where I was born and raised. Let me tell you about the Durbins of East St. Louis, Illinois. We were Catholics, members of unions. We ate fried chicken after church on Sunday, drove Ford automobiles, and we were Democrats. I learned that lesson from my family early on, and thank God I did. Probably the most important lesson that they taught me, the difference between Democrats and Republicans. It has really guided my life and my career and my public life. I think about why we gather here, and I particularly want to thank one person on my staff who has been the leading light for the Democratic Party of our state for so long, Bill Houlihan. You stand up, Bill? And his wife, Cindy. I spent this last week traveling around the state to find out what's on the mind of families and people. You've heard it a lot from my colleague, whom I dearly love, Tammy Duckworth. But let me tell you what I heard this week as I traveled from Chicago to Springfield. We heard that a major hospital in Chicago is closing. Sadly, there are others that will follow, even downstate. We learned that hospitalization insurance premiums are going to go up 65% for many of our neighbors. We also learned at the same time that 2 major health insurance companies are leaving the state of Illinois. This is barely 2 weeks after the passage of the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. We told this president and the Republicans, if you ignore the fragile situation with health care in our nation, ordinary people will suffer. I can tell you losing your health insurance is something you never forget. Loretta and I got married after my first year in law school, and God sent us a beautiful little girl a few months later, 9 months and 30 minutes, I say. She was as sweet and wonderful as can be, but she had a medical challenge, a serious medical challenge. I was a law student with no health insurance. We ended up sitting in Children's Hospital in Washington, D.C., where I was going to school, in the charity ward, waiting to see what doctor would come through the door. We had no insurance. That was our option. Luckily, she got good care, and I was glad of it. But I never forgot, as a father and a husband, those days without health insurance. You feel so damn helpless. And now we're being told by the Congressional Budget Office that more than 10,000 Americans are going to lose their health insurance. What a heartbreak for those people, what they're going to have to go through. And what is it for? For Donald Trump's tax break for the wealthiest people in America. A family that loses its health insurance will never forget it. $346,000 tax break for Elon Musk. He'll never even notice it. That's the reality of the situation. My friends, this election coming up is important for us to take back the House. I thank Hakeem Jeffries for accepting the invitation today. We've got to make sure that we have quality candidates running for every office in our state and around the country. I was pleased to learn yesterday that Sherrod Brown is going to run for election again as United States Senator in Ohio. And there will be others. We've got to be generous to them and help them every step of the way. So let me close by saying this. It's an honor to represent you. This is a long goodbye. I've got a year and 4 months left. You're going to see me some more. But I'm going to tell you, I'll never forget this party, this state, and what you've meant to my life. It really has made a difference, and I hope I have too. Thank you all.